So I actually want to talk about one more thing because we're getting close to super chat time. But
Yeah.
we were talking about woke, college campus, all these jokes, and it reminds me of a man, Jerry Seinfeld, because he's the one who kind of sparked a lot of this conversation around college campus comedy. And now he's in the news because he's the one saying New York is fine.
Yes.
We're seeing a bunch of articles. We got, I think you mentioned this earlier. We got the story from the Post, actually from James, how do you pronounce his name? Altucher?
Yes. James Altucher is my friend too.
He said New York City is dead forever.
Yeah.
Is he right?
Well, this is kind of the truth is, who knows? And even James doesn't know necessarily. But the first thing is first. I've never seen anything with more hate. Like anything I've done, anything a lot of my friends have done, where people go, the whole internet goes, "You're the worst." The only thing I've seen like this was when Ari Shaffir did the Kobe thing, and everyone on the internet was like, "This guy is." Basically, when he said New York City is dead forever, people basically saw it as if he went to the Twin Towers the day they came down and spit on the ashes.
Jeez.
People, I don't know if you were following this at all, but the amount of visceral hate. I was doing comedy shows in New York still, and I would talk to comics. The people would be talking about it, and they go, "That guy's an idiot!" Like they're just mad.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jerry Seinfeld, I guess, was like that, and then he goes, "It's not dead. You're an idiot. Like you're wrong. Like F you. You're stupid. You're a putz." He called him a putz, which is pretty funny. James Altucher's going back to him. He goes, "At least Jerry Seinfeld wrote some new jokes," like stuff like that.
Oh wow.
So Altucher's taken some pretty contrarian takes here. He's sort of saying, "Here's my list of what I think." He's doubled down since people got mad at him. I don't know how much of this. When you make a video every week, he does 2 articles a week. Right. He may have been kind of being hyperbolic and not realized how much he's putting it out.
I agree with him. I mean, I'm not in New York, so I'm sure people. But I think
Seinfeld doesn't know. He didn't say any good rebuttals. He just goes, "No, it's not."
He doesn't even live there.
No, he doesn't even live there. He's in the Hamptons and stuff, right? So, I mean,
but you live there.
I live there now. I'm in the thick, dude.
Is it dead?
I'm full Canadian American patriot right now.
I love it.
But what do you think? I mean, living there in the city.
I've been saying that it's funny because we were talking this a little bit before, but everywhere you look on the TV, it's like everyone's locked in their houses, the pandemic. If I go outside my house, it's a carnival. There is literally guys selling stuff on the street. Everyone's walking around without a mask. No one cares. For the most part, so they basically said, okay, we're going to let bars do street bars. If you go to certain corners, like in the East Village, it's like New Orleans. Basically the streets blocked off. There's a street party. Everyone's like partying on the street. So there's,
you can't get evicted, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Yeah.
You get evicted?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I think if a landlord came up to you and they're like, "Yo, you're evicted," you're like, "Yeah, I'm not going anywhere." So
right.
Go sue me, I guess. Yeah, go to the landlord courts, and then the landlord courts would be like, "Yeah, I mean, there's a 9-month waiting list, and even then, probably not." And you'd be like, "I think you would just have to eat it if your tenant stopped paying rent."
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the big challenges now. For one thing, people are buying up properties like crazy. They're definitely leaving New York. They're leaving California. San Francisco's got like a 96% inventory increase from people fleeing the city.
Yeah.
But people are leaving. And so it's like when I read this article saying New York was dead, and then I read all of these things like the amount of businesses that are permanently closed, the 500,000 middle to upper class people who have fled already, not to mention that more are leaving inventory for 13,000 empty apartment buildings or vacant buildings, I believe. And then you got homeless people being put in these hotels in like the Upper East and West Side, like these richer area, like these wealthier areas. Yeah, people are just like.
No, I sort of misinterpreted your last question. I thought you meant what's it like in general. I actually forgot that we were relating it back to this article of whether.
Oh, New York is dead.
Yeah. I mean,
no. I think what you said is interesting.
Yeah, but I think that it is true that a lot of the points he made, and there is this thing where how long can you push it and push it and push it? I mean, this is what happened to Silicon Valley, right? They go, and I think a lot of what James thinks too, and not putting words in his mouth, is like when Joe Rogan kind of said, like, "All right, LA, enough's enough. I'm out of here," right?
Yeah.
And whether that had to do with tax break, who knows, right? But eventually, and people kind of
I don't think it has anything to do with taxes.
Maybe not, right? So
yeah,
I think a lot of people kind of got it. They're like, yo, LA's been pushing their luck, right? They've just said, we can do whatever we want because we're Los Angeles and everyone wants to live here. And New York kind of feels like that too. Yeah. We'll have way higher taxes and F you, everyone still wants to be here. And there's a point where it's like everything else is opening back up. People have started working remotely and they like it and it works and you go, this is better. So there is a point where other places start looking more attractive, and then everyone moved to Silicon Valley to Austin, and now Austin they're starting to regulate and do all this stuff, and they're kind of like, all right, we got to find a new place. Seems like the people that like freedom and not regulation kind of always go on the run. And then those places get good, then everyone comes there, and then they crack down again. And they find somewhere else to go.
I can't believe so many. I keep hearing from so many people they're moving to Austin, and I'm like, that's exactly why I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, Austin. I think the people that moved to Austin, the Peter Thiels of the world. Well, I don't know if he moved there, but the hims of the world that are like Silicon Valley's out of control. The group conformity is too much. The innovation's dying because the whatever it is, right? Housings are too high. All of the stuff, right? So they basically all moved to Austin. It seems like over the last 4 or 3 years, kind of thing. And then now it's sort of caught up where Austin's back to where Silicon Valley is now.
Right. I think it's South by Southwest too. Because I remember the first time I went to South by, I was so excited. I got invited to speak. Yeah. And then I was like, this is a lie. The whole thing was a lie. Like nobody cared about anything going on. It was just an excuse to go hang out with your buddies. It was like all these Silicon Valley dudes getting drunk. And I was like, that's cool if that's your thing.
Dude, that's like Burning Man. You're like, this cool hippie thing. And you're like, everyone here works on Wall Street.
Yeah, and you show up and they're like in luxury. That's why I have friends who are like, I love going to Burning Man. And I'm like, they did a Quiznos commercial there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That's why I'm like, look.
I'm not hanging out with some guy, a Silicon Valley guy, and this dude with moon shoes and dreadlocks on.
Yeah, no. You know what I think would be really cool, and I think we need is people need to go make their own places. I was looking at a bunch of really small towns in the middle of nowhere that were dying out.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're doing a little bit, right?
A little bit, but
you're one step away from seasteading.
Well, I mean, that'd be cool too.
Dude, the Tim Pool complex.
Just get like a big mega yacht and just go off and be like armed guards and fight off pirates. No, but like, wouldn't it be cool if all these rich people, they're going to Austin, and I'm like, but why? It's gonna you give it 10 years and it'll be exactly what you left. Because all these people are rushing there like, I want to go somewhere that's cool and hip, and California's gross. And it's like, dude, California had one party rule forever. They have a supermajority in LA, and they couldn't pass any of these reforms to fix their problems. And all these people are going to go to Austin who don't care about Austin. They're going to go to these areas of Texas. They don't care about Texas, and you're going to get the same problem. People who move to LA, they're not from LA, so they don't care about the community's problems. No. So they pass the buck. LA falls to crap and they move again. They bounce around. It's like the aliens from Independence Day. You know what I'm talking? You see that movie? How they just like they come to Earth because they're gonna strip it clean of resources, then leave.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no.
I mean, and I do get that because I'm not from New York, and there's all this. When people were like, "Can you believe he said that about New York?" And I was like, "What do I care? Like, I'm Canadian. I'm like, I'm here because it's like a good place to do stand up, and it is a hub of the world for culture. And I think the best comedy in the world is happening there, especially right now. Yeah, exactly.
I'm half kidding. But
you're right, dude. You're right.
Yeah. What was that story where like a comedy club did an outdoor event and they got shut down?
Yeah, they basically allowed them and then they shut them down. So I got like an email last week from a lot of people being like, yeah, that show's canceled or whatever.
That's so dumb. Man, here's what I'm saying.
They're pushing their luck. That's what they're saying. They go, no one's going anywhere, and everyone's like, yeah, we kind of will though.
Go to I don't know Nebraska or something. There's tons of open space.
Dude, people
build your
move.
own place.
Yeah, you're moving. Like, people will move for what they want to do. I mean, I just did. Like, I was in Toronto. I didn't like the way that it was shaking down there. I saw something here, and I felt like I could make a better life. And then I moved here. So
this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? See, these people and these communists in California moved to Austin, and you, a Canadian communist, you moved to. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's you.
But no, but it is actually kind of funny.
I want half your views on this. We should split
our
the views. Yeah, no, yes, they are my views.
Our views.
Yes, we will split the views.
Our
on this
video.
Now let's get these super chats since I'm taking half of the money.
Right,
when did you come down from Canada?
Less than a year ago.
So before COVID?
Yeah. So I was here, whack timing. Right?
You snuck in.
Yeah, dude. I came here, and then I did like 4 or 5 months. Enough to make some, meet people and get in all these comedy clubs, and then boom, COVID. So.
Wow.
But,
so now you're trapped.
Yeah, it's okay. I like New York. I mean, lots of cool stuff's happening right now, so it's fun, man. I mean, people are innovative, right? It's like even this go back to, listen, like what happened in the last little while, the industry was so, we only want this one type of thing. And then look at people like you that created your whole little empire here, right? And I mean, same thing, the whole podcasting empire. Like all of those people would have had TV shows 5 years ago, but they're like, we don't want this type of guy on TV. And it's like,
Exactly.
They essentially, people are very inventive, and especially the certain... I would say like 1 in 100 people in America has the values of like, I'm going to accomplish what I would like to do no matter what. And if you even at 1 in 100, that's, 3 million people that are willing to do anything to get what they want. Right. So if you say, okay, we don't want this type of comedy, it's like, okay, we'll create our own thing. And there's a lot of people that are willing to do whatever it takes in America. And I think that's one of the things I like about it here.
So do you think these big industry, like, so Netflix did have a Rogan special, they had a Dave Chappelle special. Do you think
those are legacy people, right? Like there is a point where you get so big. And the truth is I even disagree with, not necessarily Rogan, but the way Ricky Gervais talks about cancel culture and jokes, I disagree with him. Like, because his take on that sort of thing is always, oh, it's just jokes. Like you should be able to joke about anything. But a lot of times I'm saying these jokes and my audience knows I'm ironic and they actually know the right opinions.
Yeah.
So he basically says, and I know if you're in that position, you need to say, no, I'm one of the good guys. I'm just making jokes. But the truth is, when Ricky Gervais says that, he's like, let's say he has a whole thing making fun of Caitlyn Jenner, like saying that she's not actually hot or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they go, okay, they're not laughing at that because they actually know it's wrong. They're laughing at that because it's a little bit true and they know they're not supposed to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of components to the formula. One of them being they're not supposed to. One of them being like it's a little bit true, but you're not supposed to say it. And it's sometimes they are laughing at something that is like obviously not true. Like if I said like, oh yeah, I'm just very racist. Like everyone's like, he's obviously being ironic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So... But the way that they talk about it is they go, no, I'm playing a character and my audience is so not racist that everyone knows. And it's like sometimes, but sometimes you're saying uncomfortable truths and that's why you're getting like a laugh of people being like, that is kind of true. And they don't take credit for that. And because they don't take credit for that, other people kind of end up having to play in a dishonest ballpark because... So I'd rather some of those people just stay out of it if you're going to lie.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.